Hey kids, Papa here. I'm a month late on an anniversary song. September 14th was the 200th anniversary of the Star Spangled Banner. So here is that song, and at the end I'll give you a little bit of history on that song because I'm not sure they really teach this anymore in our public schools.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? On the shore dimly seen through the mist of the deep, where the foe's haughty host in the dread silence repose. What is that which the breeze o'er the towering steep, as it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses? Now it catches the gleam of the morning's first beam, in full glory reflected, now shines in the stream. 'Tis the Star-Spangled Banner, oh, long may it wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And where is that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country, should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, thus be it ever when free men shall stand between their loved home and the of war's desolation, bless the victory and peace. May the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must, when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God is our trust, and the Star Spangled Banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hello again, I'm back. So here's a little bit of history about the Star Spangled Banner. As you all know, I hope, that this is the national anthem of the United States. So where did it come from? I think you kids have learned in school that it was written by Francis Scott Key. Well, who in the heck is he? Now, I was born and raised in Baltimore, and I've been to Fort McHenry many times, and I never really knew who Francis Scott Key was until I just looked it up for this recording. So let me tell you, he was a lawyer, and he was an amateur poet. So in early September of 1814, the British had already gone through and won the battles in Washington and burned many of the public buildings there. I believe Alexandria, Virginia, and they were headed into the port of Baltimore, figuring that would be pretty much the end of the battles. They would have the major cities. So Francis Scott Key and another person, John Stuart Skinner, set sail from Baltimore under orders from the President of the United States, James Madison, to seek the release of some prisoners that the British were holding on one of their ships. And one of the prisoners happened to be a friend, a doctor who was a friend of Francis Scott Key's, so that's why he really wanted to go there. They went to the ship, they sat down and had dinner with the two British officers, and they were reluctant to release especially the doctor, but most of the prisoners, until Key gave them some letters from some British soldiers who had commented on what good treatment they got from the doctor and how he had saved their lives. Well, during dinner, the two officers had talked about some plans on attacking Baltimore, and that being Fort McHenry, being the defense into the harbor. So they wouldn't let Key and Skinner go just yet, so they kept them until after the battle. So they attacked Fort McHenry, and Key got to witness from the British ship the attacks, and so that's where the bombs bursting in air, the rockets, they had ships that fired rockets, they had ships that fired bombs. At any rate, they kept firing and firing, and the fort had what is called a bad weather flag, which is a small flag during storms, so it wouldn't get tattered so easily. So it was difficult to see except when the bombs were exploding and flashes from that. Well, then when the bombing stopped, he couldn't tell anymore if the British had taken the fort because he couldn't see the flag anymore. It was dark. Well, the next morning, the fort put up the very large U.S. flag that normally flew there in good weather, And that's what prompted him to write a poem called The Defense of Fort McHenry. Later he gave this poem to his brother-in-law, who looked at it and noticed that the tempo of the poem fit a song that he knew, and so he decided to put that music to the poem and make a song out of it. It was still called The Defense of Fort McHenry at that time. Interestingly enough, the music that Key's brother-in-law chose was written by a British songwriter and composer, John Stafford Smith. So the music came from Britain and the lyrics came from America, and it became America's national anthem. So that's a little bit of history for you. Hope you enjoyed that information, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.